We back.
You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Grooves. Welcome to episode number 251 of the Keep Up Podcast.
Where if you find a pair of underwear on the highway, put it on, because it's just us hanging out.
That's not my favorite as far as like what I picture
What?
while I'm picturing what you're saying at the beginning.
We're just hanging out.
But what are we in that scenario? Maybe I don't want you
We're
to
hanging
explain.
out in the boxers. What did I say? Underwear?
You did.
Yeah.
Which boxers is in that category you're just specifying
Right.
now.
That's what I imagine.
But you're finding them on the highway?
Yeah.
I do think it's weird when I drive by certain items of clothing on the highway.
Shoes are always like the most suspicious to me.
Shoes are weird. That's weird.
And like it makes sense that they go out the window, but if there's two shoes, I feel like someone got abducted.
Yeah.
Like that's
They're
weird.
going for a walk. Or are they driving and then they were abducted?
Or aliens abducted.
I know what you
Oh, okay.
mean by abducted.
I thought you meant the other
I know
way.
who's doing the abducting. I was just asking for details.
However they get abducted.
Perfect.
Remember those shoes we saw at Burger King?
I do remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird.
That was really bizarre.
Because that was in a parking lot.
Yep.
And that seems stranger to me. Because
Yeah.
if you're driving, like maybe a friend was giving you a hard time and threw your shoes out. Maybe you were transporting clothes.
Mm-hmm.
If they're just in a parking lot, like next to each other, that looked like someone had been abducted.
Yeah, that was like, we should have called someone,
Yeah,
but we didn't.
we didn't. No,
And they're probably fine.
one can hope.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Keep Up Podcast, where I'm Brett and Tim is Tim.
That's me.
We talk about all the things we consume, be it media or food. And listen, it's like a comedy pop culture situation.
Yeah,
where we hang
comedy
out.
popcorn situation.
Popcorn, big fan of popcorn. Butter or cheese?
Cheese on my popcorn.
Great choice.
But I want it like nacho cheese.
Like
gooey-
no,
gooey-
that sucks to eat. That's not
Just
fun.
a handful of cheese.
That's so messy.
It is
unless you have like Zach Choi gloves.
right. Those are the premium gloves.
I still want to eat a really messy meal with gloves on. You know, I've never
Yeah.
done that.
Mm-hmm.
I say still because the first time I saw Zach Choi do it, I was like, man, that makes sense.
Yeah, those gloves, I mean, you can buy them.
I have them.
Oh, you have them?
I have many of them left over from COVID.
The black ones?
Yeah. I don't know. Rach and I were cool and got tattoo gloves. They're black.
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
they're. She was actually super smart because you couldn't find gloves anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then she thought to look at a tattoo, like a tattoo supply website.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
Where you could buy tattoo gear.
Yeah.
And they were selling
gloves.
latex gloves and they were black. And I was like, that's even cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking smart,
Yeah.
dude.
So you have the gloves. Just make the messy meal.
That's all I need is the messy meal.
Mm-hmm.
But it needs to be something that makes sense, like wings or something. Or I could just make like mac and cheese and eat it with my hands.
Yeah.
But
You really could. Dude, you got to do something with Spam.
yeah, for the full
Fry up.
experience.
Yeah. Fry up the Spam.
Yeah. I don't. Do I have to though?
You don't have to. You can have it raw.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had that?
Mm-mm.
It's fine.
I don't want it.
Yeah, you don't.
When you can grill it,
Yeah.
it's like having a raw hot dog.
Yeah, which also I have done.
Yeah. Out of necessity.
Yeah. I didn't have any way to cook it, but I was hungry and did buy them from a gas station.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just sad.
Well,
You got to do what you got to do. when you're
it was
hungry.
me and some friends, and we were just like, I remember we skated there
Uh-huh.
from our houses. We lived in this small
Don't they have
town.
warm hot dogs there?
They didn't at this place. You could
Gotcha.
just buy
Like a pack of dogs.
because otherwise, that's very funny. Most gas stations you can buy
A
warm
hot
ones.
dog
But
specifically.
I was like, nah, I'd like 8 uncooked, please.
please.
I think I've told this story before. We bought those, and then we bought a pack of like Kraft singles,
Uh-huh.
and we were just wrapping raw dogs.
And eating them. Not even just wrapping them for fun.
No, dude. A lot of people do that, but we would actually eat them.
That's a shame.
Hey, if it's your first time listening, you should know that we stream these live.
Live!
It used to be Thursdays, but we recently switched over to Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
Yeah, this happens on Tim's streaming channel, which is twitch.tv/collectionrevolution. It's all of the letters that typically are featured in those words.
No space.
And yeah, no spaces, because that's how URLs work, Tim. What year is it? I don't think you have to say no space.
Well, if you go to Google and just type in Collection Revolution, who types in the full URL?
Who's going to Google? You go to Twitch.
You don't.
Oh, you're saying no space between Collection and Revolution.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes sense to specify. But I gave them the URL.
Yeah. I'm just saying, who's typing in URLs?
You can also find us all over the place at the Keep Up Podcast. That's on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and you can get yourself some bonuses at patreon.com/the Keep Up. There's a bonus podcast, some rapid fire food challenges. Tim and I have a pretty solid competition going on there.
Brett, I just want you to know.
What?
You close the door and Brody can't leave.
It's not even really close.
It's not. He just rubbed his face against it to get it open and it didn't work.
Of course, dude, my cats could open that.
Well,
I'll go let them out. Vamp.
Vamp. Sometimes life is like a box of
It
chocolates.
doesn't have to be wisdom.
It's always wisdom when it comes from me. I'm smart. Brett actually has some interesting things to talk about. I guess he blew up a gas station and he just came back from Washington Monument.
Blow one up.
He blew one up.
I didn't.
He actively blew up a gas station.
No. It was close.
I can't wait to hear it.
Do you know anything about it?
Mom told me a little bit, but I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
All right, so
I didn't mean to call you a horse.
Yeah, that's-
You're more than a horse.
So messed up, dude.
You're an elephant.
Horses are large, muscular, majestic creatures.
Yeah. So see, great lesson on context, people.
Right.
Or taking things positively.
Right.
Someone can call you a cow,
Yeah.
and I would take it as, man, I am delicious meat that
Right.
everybody wants a bite of.
Exactly. Or you could be like, well, how do you feel about dairy? And they're like, oh, I love cheese. And you're like, well, in that case, thank you.
Thank you.
Because I am the source.
I am the source. You would have nothing if it wasn't for me.
And my udders.
In my udders. You get all the milk.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yeah, here's what's up. A portion of my job involves a lot of driving. You just need that for context. I'm telling you guys the story of my worst visit to a gas station ever.
Oh, it sounds horrible.
This happened last week. So I have multiple stops per day. I service donation bins, so I have multiple stops per day. I'm on my second to last stop of the day, and I'm cranking today. This particular day is going really well, and I'm moving along because you get home when you're done. So I'm going as fast as I can. The day is moving along. There's a lot of times the bins have a ton of trash because people just discard whatever they want in these
Of course.
bins. This was not one of those days. It was pretty standard, straightforward. I have 2 stops left. Now, this particular route is about an hour and a half away up in Maine. So my second to last stop is across the street from a gas station. So I was fuel up. This day was very hot.
Yep.
I was a thirsty boy.
Right? You got to go get some hot dogs to drink the water.
I skipped the weens that day, but I did go in to get one of those. I was like, I'll get one of those large, like, dollar sodas that you can fill, and it's like 18 gallons or whatever. So I went in, I got some Coke Zero. Same thing as today.
Yeah. Dude,
You know,
you're a Coke
similar
Zero
situation.
man.
Yeah. So this happened actually a week ago today, I think. So I go into the gas station and I get my large sody, and I'm working my way through the line, and I see that they have a self checkout at the gas station.
Oh,
Which
interesting.
I've never seen. It's like a single machine, and you put it's all at once, like a scanner and a scale. So you put it on there, and it shows the sody, and I bring it up, pay for it, reach for the sody, miss, and I knock it over, and it goes all over everywhere.
And it's filled up.
everything. Oh, dude, to the brim. So
No.
it goes.
Was there a cover on it?
Yeah, but like not after it hit the counter.
Yeah.
So I knock it over on this machine. It goes everywhere. It also hits the receipt printer. So there's like a little like serve yourself coffee station behind me. So I run back, I grab a bunch of napkins, and I'm cleaning it up, and I'm lifting up like the receipt printer.
So you're the reason they don't have self checkouts everywhere else.
You know what's funny? I don't recall seeing it today at that gas station.
You went to the same gas station?
Yeah, it's the same route.
And they removed it?
I mean, I just didn't see it. I wasn't looking for it.
You crashed it.
So I'm being really thorough because I cleaned up all of what landed on the actual machine.
Yep.
And I'm looking, and I could have walked away because nobody was really like paying attention.
Yeah.
But that sucks to do. So I'm like moving all their machinery. I recognize I've worked retail before. I know these receipt printers and stuff.
Yep.
So I'm moving stuff. I'm tipping them over. I'm getting underneath them. And this woman comes over and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, I spilled this. I'm trying to clean it up so you don't have to deal with it." And she's like, "Oh, okay. I have like better napkins over here, whatever." So she gives me napkins. I finish cleaning it up. I basically like remodeled the counter because there's like, after I'm done cleaning up, it wasn't just soda. It was like dust bunnies. Like clearly it had never been dusted or cleaned.
You're cleaning the whole place.
Yeah, I'm just like, the place is sparkling. I'm on the other end just like mopping because I spilled. The sodas are so big. It's just like the blood scene in The Shining.
Yeah,
like
the whole place is filled.
There are people to rescue.
Did you get a job? Did they hire you on this?
They're like, "This is pretty good." I'm like, "I'm actually working right now. I need to go." So I clean that up and I'm like, "Oh man," like I was making good time. It probably only took me a couple minutes. Like it wasn't a huge ordeal. But, you know, in your head, I'm like, I feel like an idiot. And when I'm like, "I'm so sorry about that." She's like, "Oh no, don't worry about it." So I jump out. Literally my stop is across the street from this gas station. I jump in the truck.
Yep.
Back up. I'm like, "All right, let's go. We got to make up some time." I'm going to zip across there.
Yeah.
And I, you know, that was probably like a 5 to 10 minute break. So I'm like ready to go because it's hot out. You know, you get kind of beat.
Yep.
So I'm refueled. Truck's refueled. I'm pulling away and I hear a bunch of people go, "Hey, hey, hey, hey," which I want you to know is the worst possible thing to hear when you're driving. When you know multiple people are yelling at you, "Hey!" Because whatever they're yelling at you about, you just did with a moving vehicle.
Yes.
So something's broken. Someone's dead.
Uh-oh.
It's the back of the truck could be open.
Yeah.
I'm spilling fuel
You
everywhere.
have no idea what's going on.
I don't know what. So immediately I'm like, "Oh my gosh," because I remember I left the pump on while I went in to get a drink. And I was in such a like rushed headspace from the Shining disaster that I did not remove the pump. Which is a meme I've laughed at many times. In my life.
Yep.
So I jump out. So I look in the rear view and the pump's hanging out, and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
So you ripped it out from the
ripped it out from the pump.
Oh my god! Was there gas everywhere?
No. So I didn't know this. But they have like pressure releases or tension releases now. So I was actually able to take it out because I'm terrified. I've never done this before.
Yeah.
I've strictly made fun of people for it.
No one should have to deal with it.
My only relationship with this situation is me making fun of people for doing it.
You're like, "Idiot, how could you forget?"
Yeah. So I get out and one of the guys that was like, "Hey," he's just like looking at me. I'm like, "Dude, I'm a walking meme. I just doused their counter inside." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, bro." I'm like, "Yeah, it's whatever." So I take the pump out and I look at the end of it and I'm like, "Oh, this is like I think I can put this back on." So at first I'm stoked because I'm like, "Oh, they resolved this issue that 30 years ago could have been like a natural disaster."
Right. You could have blown up the gas station.
Right. So I go over and I'm looking at the pump and I'm like, "Oh, I see how this connects." So I just put it in, turn it, and it's all good.
That's it.
So then the woman comes out and she's like, Did you pull the pump off?" And I was like, "I did." And she's like, "I need like your information and stuff." I was like, "All right." So I go inside and she's like, "Yeah, sorry, I got to get all this info. It's technically property damage." And I was like, "Yeah."
While you're in a company vehicle.
Oh yeah. So all that's going through my head is I need to, like, I could just not say anything, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to text my boss and tell him I just did the dumbest thing.
The worst thing.
Not to mention, like, I can't remember if it was the same week or the week prior. I didn't really do anything wrong, but, well, there was one thing that's, like, debatable. But basically, I had multiple interactions with police in one day and had to text him, like, a couple things. Just being like, "Hey, here's a heads up."
Right.
Like,
So you're causing crimes.
Dude, it felt like I'm literally doing every dumb thing. Like, one of them was I clipped a bridge because it was shorter than I thought.
Yeah.
And someone behind me like called the cops. And did I tell that? Oh no, we didn't record last week. Yeah, someone called the cops. I was crawling under the bridge because it looked low.
Yeah.
And it did like scrape a little, but I was like, okay, no damage done, whatever. So I get to my next stop and a cop's there. And he's like, hey, did you like clip the bridge? And
He was at the stop?
yeah. And he was very like, hey man, like it looks, I'm here because I have to be kind of attitude. I was like, yeah, I did. Was there damage? And he was like, no, someone called. I was like, someone called you? And he's like, yeah, I guess they were behind you when it happened. And
Jeez.
like, he just totally seemed like it wasn't a big deal, but
Yeah.
I don't know what this person thought was happening. Like,
Right,
they
like
reported my license plate number.
Yeah.
Did they think I was just like looking for bridges to destroy in Vermont? Like, that wasn't the goal.
Yeah, I don't understand what the point of that is, unless they were concerned that you weren't like mentally all there.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it was like reporting reckless driving kind of thing, I guess. But again, like, I saw the bridge. I thought the person behind me was going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Because I literally maybe did 3 miles an hour under the bridge.
Just to see if you could make it through.
Yeah, because a precursor to the bridge you go under is literally a wooden bridge that is only a single vehicle wide. So I either had to go in reverse for like a half a mile,
Yeah.
or I had to like chance going under this bridge, which I've gone under before. But we have different trucks, so I think maybe I was in a smaller truck before. Whatever.
Yeah.
The whole point is my terrible gas station visit came only days after that, where I didn't really feel bad about the other two things. It was just, you know,
Yeah, it
whatever.
happens.
But this was like the dumbest thing. This is like early YouTube days dumb.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. Like, even if it's dumb, it happens. We all make mistakes. And
But
you,
that
I mean,
is so stupid.
it's definitely not the most ideal mistake you can make. But I mean, of course, you were frazzled after the whole
yeah,
soda shining incident.
yeah, that was rough.
So, you know, your brain was just.
That's
not
totally
there.
what it was too, because I was literally walking out like, man, I can't believe I did that. What an idiot! It's like,
I won't do anything else
terrible.
stupid.
Yeah, and immediately, and it felt like starting over. It felt like I died
Yeah.
in a game. And then went back to the checkpoint when I
Yep.
spilled the soda, cleaned it all up, and I was like, oh, finally back to the point I was at. And then I immediately fell off a cliff. And I had to go
You
back
got a sticky
again.
grenade stuck to your face
Yeah,
as you
I
walked
was
out
like,
the door.
damn it! I just got past this part.
Again?
So, and then after all that, I still had 2 stops to finish. So I was just
And it's
like,
across the street, so you're just
it's right there. I'm like, please, can I just finish?
Oh,
It was the worst. So
torture.
That was my worst gas station visit, I think.
I don't know if I'll ever meet anybody who will do it worse than you, unless they blow it up, you know.
Right.
But it's cool that they have that like pressure, like.
Yeah.
So no gas came out.
No gas came out. It was just, I think it's like I said, like a tension release. It's like you press it in and turn it.
Yeah.
And it's probably technology that's been in place for decades.
Who know, right?
But this is my first time.
Ever seeing it get detached?
Yeah. So, dude, looking in the rear view and just seeing, there's no undoing it.
There's nothing.
So many witnesses.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I know. Relax.
I'm an
working on
idiot.
it.
I get it.
So I don't actually know if anything came of it, but all the insurance information and everything is like company information. So I feel so bad because I'm like, I hope this doesn't affect their like insurance rates or whatever.
Right.
Because I don't know, just like,
I mean, it's really just a matter of time with how much you drive around and everything. Like,
yeah,
you know, because you're in a vehicle so long, there's just like, there'll be things that happen.
totally. Yeah. Yeah. So dumb. The only other thing that kind of rivals that dumbness is I ran out of gas one day.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what'd you do?
I had to call my boss.
Oh,
Hey, man.
guess who's out of gas?
Yeah, and he was like, dude, it's happened to a bunch of people. I don't remember exactly what he said. It was like, you're not the only one this has happened to kind of thing. He didn't say that this time.
You're the first one in the company history.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's all
shoot.
good and everything, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was my worst gas station visit ever.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry.
Hey man, it's all good. I went today and I've never been more cautious at a gas pump. I'm like, put the gas in, take it out, hang up this. I'm like babying the soda. I'm like, hello ma'am, can you please bring this up for me and also do all other physical contact with it?
Can you also pump my gas so I don't make a mistake?
Is this full service? Can it be? If not, I will break things.
I gotta go.
They're like, oh, I remember you.
You freaking guy.
Yeah. So, that was it.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
We made it out. We grow.
Yep.
We went out there. We gave it our best shot. And the first time I didn't see it coming. They had some plays up their sleeve, but this
Right.
time I feel like we went out and played our best game. So
And it's a great way to stay in shape.
great way to stay in shape. Yeah.
Okay.
That's you ever see that interview?
Not with the laughter.
I can't remember the player's name. Shoot, what is it? Oh man.
Stormy.
Nope. And the laugh he
Wonka.
does is so funny. He's like,
I haven't seen it.
it's so good. I'll show it to you. Anyways,
so worst
that's-
gas station. That's good because you'll have that story for life.
I
That's
sure will.
That's the benefit of
I'm
it.
keeping that one.
Locked in.
Fantastic.
And other people have the story to tell.
They
you
do.
you made everybody's day.
Right. Now, one day I'll tell the story and someone will be like, you know what? That happened to me once too.
See?
And
Then you'll be part of Gas Station Anonymous.
right.
And then all these people will tell their
GSA.
yeah.
Yeah.
It should be the GAS.
It should.
It should.
Gas Anonymous Station.
That's truly what we were looking for.
Yeah.
So not only that,
Not only
but you
that.
also went on vacation.
Went on vacation, my boy.
How was it?
It was great. We went to DC, me and the fam, and it was me, my wife, and our kids. You know them,
I do.
but Tim didn't come.
Right.
You know,
I'm
and
family.
So when I say the fam,
Right. It's a different
it was a
family.
certain unit.
Brett's got two families.
But yeah, multiple.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's got more than two. He's got
There's,
like 8.
I mean, it's all one.
Right. It's all one.
You
But
know.
they're different like
But that's you know, if you, me, and Bailey and Mom went and did something, I'd
Yeah.
be like, yeah, me and my family.
right.
But it's like, which one?
Which exactly.
So if people are listening and they think you came,
yeah.
and I'm telling the story, they're like, why is this so one-sided?
Yeah. Why does Tim have nothing to add to
Right.
this?
Tim went to DC and has nothing to say about it.
Because I wasn't there.
Tim wasn't there.
I'm not the family.
That's what I'm getting at.
Right.
So we went to DC. I keep saying none of us have ever been. I'm a liar. Rachel's been. But she hasn't been to all the like museums and stuff. And that's basically what we went to do. Just kind of explore each day. It was dope. There was a lot of walking. We probably walked a cumulative like 25 miles. Like, I mean, it was 3 days.
Yeah. Did you plan on that much walking?
So not entirely. Some of it, like the Airbnb we got, was not as central as we thought it was going to be. So we had to start every day with like a 15-minute walk to the metro, which wasn't anything crazy. It
Yeah.
was hella humid, but it wasn't too bad. But then like we went to their first day, we were literally just walking around the city seeing what we could find.
Yeah.
So cool. You see like the Capitol building, there's just the Washington Monument, like there's just stuff everywhere that you're like, I've seen that in movies.
Whoa.
And that's pretty gnarly. And then we just happened upon the Smithsonian Art Museum, and or a portion of it. The museums are endless.
Oh,
They're like
God.
the size of states. Like you'll be in one for
Full
hours.
states.
Yeah, you'll be in one for hours, and then you'll be like, wait, we're on the first floor. Like that literally happened at the art museum, and we were spent. Like we were there for so long. So yeah, we did the art museum. I took some pictures of my favorites. I'll show you. It's literally like some of the art pieces in there are, and Rachel and I were like laughing because we're not even, it's not like we're art connoisseurs. We just, we appreciate art and really love it. She literally was like crying, and I felt so emotional looking at some of them. Like there's this statue, I'll show you a picture of it. I just stood there staring at it, like waiting for its eyes to open or something.
It just felt like that realistic?
Yeah,
or-
yeah, it just felt like it was so like beautiful and held a lot. And there are a couple portraits that I just stood there and like stared at and was like, I can't believe someone made this. Like these people look alive. And then they'd have the plaques like telling you the history of either the artist or the subject, sometimes both. And you'd read it and just be like, this is insane. There was this one woman, I forget her name. I'd pull it up, but it's gonna take me too long to find. And just like the things, it was just wild. Like the things she was doing for women's rights would be like, it would be commendable today. And she was doing it like 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Like the time frame and what she was doing didn't even make sense to me. Cause I'm like, wouldn't they like burn her as a witch when she was doing it? Like it was just crazy. Like reading the history of some of these people that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it was just wild. So that was day one. And we like came upon that on accident. The kids loved it, which was really cool. They appreciated the art a lot.
Good.
And then, yeah, we went to the Museum of Natural History, which was just mental. I sent you that picture of the megalodon hanging from the ceiling.
Dude.
We saw a giant squid, which was dope. Apparently, like, there's not a long history of giant squids, and like they don't know anything about them.
Nothing.
Like the first photo, I think I want to say it was taken off the coast of Japan in like 2004. And they think they only lived 3 to 5 years.
They weren't sure if they were real for a long time.
Right. That's recent.
That's 2004.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, right?
What? And they're like, oh, shoot, they're real?
They actually exist?
Crazy. And then there was this one, I forget what it was. Oh, shoot, there was this other creature that they had deemed extinct, and then they found one. And they were like, oh, I guess not. And they were just living in a different part of the ocean.
Jeez, yeah.
So just like crazy stuff. We're just like insane. So we were at that museum for about 7.5 hours. Wow. It was the entire day.
Oh my God.
Just walking around and like we were all wrecked by the end of the day.
Oh, I bet.
And then the last day we did the zoo and just equally as huge. We were there for 6.5 hours.
Jeez.
But
it's good you're getting your money's worth from those places.
Absolutely. And we're finding out a lot of people don't know, but like everything there is free. Like we didn't pay for any of the museums. You don't pay for the zoo.
Museums are kind of touch and go. Like sometimes you can just walk in, other times you gotta pay.
But all these like national museums and the Smithsonian, like it's all free.
Wow.
You just walk in and they're like, have fun.
That's amazing.
So we paid for Ubers and food. That was basically it.
Cool.
And, you know, hit some gift shops and stuff like that. But it's a really cool place to go. Like if you can get an Airbnb and pick a couple museums, but there's museums I didn't know about, like across the street from the Natural History Museum, which we didn't get to, but I was so bummed. It's the museum, I forget the exact title, historical, it was the Museum of Asian Art.
Oh.
And I wanted to go there so badly.
Oh, that must have been sick.
And then there's a spy museum, like an espionage type of spy. Like it didn't even register. Our first Uber, he's like, yeah, so that's the spy museum. And I was like, what's the spy museum? And now I feel like an idiot. But he's like, you know, like secret agents and like, I'm like, there's a spy museum?
They have a museum?
Whole museum for that?
That's amazing.
It was wild.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were going to go to that Monday night or whatever, our last full day there. But the zoo took so long.
Yeah.
We were all like dying.
No more.
But anyways, that's the brief rundown. It was pretty dope.
I'm glad you had so much fun. It sounds like it was really awesome.
I have mad pictures to show you. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad the art spoke to you.
Dude.
I don't think I've seen like at an actual museum art that's really like spoken to me.
Yeah.
Like I've appreciated a lot of stuff and there's a lot of cool things, but it's cool that you had such a visceral reaction.
it was wild. And I took pictures of all of the pieces that I stood in front of for a really long time. And there's also something about the scale of them. Like some of them are massive, like bigger than your entire body.
Yeah.
And they're just hung up on this wall and you're just like, this is crazy.
That someone spent all this time making it.
Yeah.
And
Wild. So it's pretty great. Highly recommend heading to DC and just like you get used to the metro. That took a little time for us because that's not a thing we deal with here.
No.
But by the second day we kind of had it. You have to pay to get in and out of the metro,
Oh, that's weird.
isn't it? $2 to get out.
$2 to get out. What if you don't have $2? You're stuck.
We saw countless people just jumping. the
Jumping,
gate,
yeah.
And security didn't like bat an eye, so I guess
They're like,
used
we
to
don't
that.
care about
Yeah.
this.
What are they gonna do? Keep them in there?
Right.
Hey, get back in there. Like I don't know.
$2.
They don't have $2, so they live at the metro. But that's it, man. In a nutshell,
Dude, it's a good nutshell.
feels like a relatively large nutshell. What about you? How has your last 5 days been, or whatever?
They've been good.
Well, we didn't record last week because you were mad at me. And then,
That's what I was livid.
so you can catch me up on everything. We had 4th of July.
4th of July.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We cooked on a grill.
We cooked on a grill.
That was tight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we were pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you got nothing to tell me, then don't tell me.
Yeah, I got nothing. It was I was just taking a vacation.
Nice. Oh yeah, you took a vacation.
A time away from the content creation world.
Right. That's nice. Was it nice?
It was nice.
Do you feel like
Recharged?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
So I just came back to streaming this week, and yeah, the last 2 days because I started yesterday, but yeah, I just felt really great.
Yeah.
Reinvigorated.
I love that.
But yeah, played a lot of games, hung out with friends, had some good chicken sandwiches.
Ooh, we love chicken
hung out with family.
Oh, yeah, you did. Dude, we ate so much chicken on our vacation.
I'm jealous.
We all got so much chicken. The first day we went to this place called, I forget what it was called.
Popeyes.
But they had, no, that was day 2.
Day
We legit
two.
went to Popeyes. Because we realized we had nothing at the Airbnb. They
don't provide food.
Nah, I mean, they said they had like some snacks, but there wasn't really like,
Ripped
there
off.
was some chocolate and we ate it all in like 10 minutes. But yeah, like day 2, I was like, oh, we could use like Uber Eats. We never do that.
Yeah.
But I was like, we'll order a couple of groceries and then, what do you guys want to eat? And because I don't use it a lot, it was like no delivery charge for like a handful of orders or whatever. So everyone got like something different. And Rach and I were like, we haven't had Popeyes for a while. But the first day there, I got a Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
From this random restaurant. It was boss. And then Simi got chicken tenders, and they were wicked good. And then the next day, there was just so much chicken. We got on our way home. I'm skipping ahead, but there was a Chick-fil-A in the airport, and the kids had never had Chick-fil-A. So I was like, I'll get a sandwich too.
Why not?
We just had chicken sandwich after chicken sandwich after chicken sandwich.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it was just so much chicken. And then yesterday, because we were wrecked on the way home, we got stuck in traffic on the bus home from Boston for like 2.5 hours.
Oh.
So I just ordered pizza.
Yeah.
Sim was
on the
like,
bus.
yeah, I had them deliver it to us on the highway. That would be the move.
That would.
But I ordered it when we were driving home. Because Rach and I were like, we're not cooking anything.
No way.
And which was a lie, because I actually cooked that one of the Ninja Turtles frozen pizza. When we got home. It's
You
pretty
had
good.
one of those?
I had one, yeah. It was pretty good.
Dude.
They got a little cutout Ninja Turtle on the back. Tight.
Which one did you have? The mac and cheese one?
No, it was just cheese.
Just cheese.
Yeah, I think they only had like one flavor out of one. Is it a flavor?
I guess so.
I
The
don't
pizza
calling it that.
flavors.
What flavor pizza do you want?
Toppings.
Ugh, that's wrong.
Yeah.
That's wrong. It's like using the wrong dialect in the language.
Yeah.
So Simi was like, she's like, Dad, did you order the pizza? I'm like, yeah. She's like, did you get chicken on it? I was like, no, but I appreciate the chicken. It's pretty good.
The good one.
So you were on vacation as well.
Yep.
What was the like thing that relaxed you? Did you watch movies? Did you play video games without all these nerds watching? I'm just kidding.
Without having anybody witness. Yeah, so I wanted to finish God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
That was like a big weight on my soul.
I could tell it was really bringing you down.
It was terrible.
You were awful to be around.
It was so bad. It hurt on the inside.
All of us do.
But yeah, no, so I got to finish that, and yeah, just a lot of just like chilling.
Love chilling.
I worked on the ice cream truck a couple more days than
Yeah.
I wished and or planned, but it was nice because money's nice
Money is nice.
and helping mom's nice.
Yeah. And
So-
how else are you gonna buy me all those Ninja Turtle soundtracks?
Exactly, all those vinyls.
Yeah.
So, and I watched a lot of movies we got to talk about.
You did.
So-
Cool. Dude, I watched one yesterday on a whim. Kind of wild.
What was it?
Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever watched it?
The original?
Like 1968.
It feels pretty modern.
It really does. Like, if you can put yourself, how good are you? We're gonna have a movie segment anyways.
Yeah.
Right? I guess we can put it there because I have a question for you about watching a movie of that age. I know it's only 2 years before movies you hate.
Right.
Tim doesn't like movies in the 70s.
In the 70s, dude. There's something about it. The 70s kill me.
Yeah. So this has been the Keep Up. Such an aggressive pause.
It's just like,
So pregnant that pause was.
yeah.
That was a pregnant pause.
Pregnant?
Pregnant.
Okay.
Have you ever heard that?
I've heard poignant.
No, dude. There was nothing poignant about nothing happening.
You're telling me there's something pregnant about nothing happening?
Dude, I guess something's happening. I was gonna say there's like months of nothing happening, but there's actually a lot going on.
I guess, yeah. I see.
Is it time for a segment?
I think so.
What is it?
I had technology, but I feel like we have a lot of movies to talk about.
First of all, don't say technology, but second of all, okay, movies.
Movies.
Cool. The dog's trying to
right at the end.
What's up, streamies?
Yeah, so I just want to say, Pixie was super offended. Excuse me, nerds who?
It's a compliment.
No, you offended her. How far? Oh God, we're all the way at the beginning.
Wow, you guys were talking. I love that. Let's go. Why are you going down? Oh yeah, that's bye.
That's what? Yeah,
The people saying bye.
Yeah. Demons. Mel, thanks for being the special baby of the stream. Brett, give Mel the special baby award.
Sometimes I can still hear their voices. Cheese popcorn. Yeah, so I was thinking like, so we do have a lot of versions of cheese popcorn around here. Some of our theaters will do like the Cheeto style, but I was also thinking like smart food. Sometimes people forget that's like cheese popcorn.
Have you had nacho cheese on popcorn, like drippy, like gold
I haven't.
wet
How
cheese?
would you eat that?
You've
had that?
Yeah.
You just do it here?
I haven't done it here. I did it at like a place. Like you could get cheesy popcorn.
Oh, they just had the cheese. Oh, they made it like that.
Yeah, well, so it was the popcorn, and then they poured the cheese on top, and you're supposed to like scoop it out and mix it up and stuff.
That's the thing. There's no good thing to scoop popcorn with.
They give you a spoon, but
that just breaks it all, doesn't it?
not really. Like, because the cheese, it like all sticks to it. Think of like a bunch of little flies sticking to like honey or something.
That is how I like to eat my flies.
Yeah, it was pretty good, honestly.
Oh, it's delicate.
It's delicate. I've never heard of such a delicacy. Korean restaurants, you get gloves for spicy foods. Yeah, we don't for really spicy challenges. They'll give you gloves.
That makes sense.
Raw dogs.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
cheese up them raw dogs.
That's
You know what I
it.
mean?
You're just cheesing them up.
Podcast rated R for
R
raw
for
dogs.
raw. No, we have the same mind. No wonder I feel smart today. Oh,
Dang.
Pixie smart. He what? That's when I said you blew up the gas station.
I did. I blew it up.
I don't know. That's it. But when you start the @ signs, we will know. Sounds like a true Fortnite gamer. He's a unicorn. Who?
Which one? Me?
Brett probably is.
Bloobs and boobs.
When you're a cow, maybe.
Oh yeah.
You like no udder. Dang. She's got puns. I love gas stations. Pixie really does love gas stations.
I'm with you. I think they're great.
They do have a lot of good options.
They have all the options, bro. They just put up a new one near my house, and it looks like mad fancy, and like it probably has snacks I've never heard of. When in reality, I've probably heard of every snack in there, but I'm gonna look at them.
You're still gonna walk in and be like, "Ooh!"
I'm like excited.
New stuff are nice. New stuff are nice.
Yeah, I was just gonna let you sit on that.
Yeah, it's okay.
New stuff are nice.
New stuff are nice. Anyways,
Carry
their
on.
smell. I don't like smells of gas stations.
Yeah, I don't know.
The nice fresh air of gas and cigs is like no
Delicious.
other.
So good.
Hashtag sponsored by Coke Zero. I hope not. Brett only talked about bad things.
No, the Coke Zero was great. It was a tragedy to lose so much of it.
Brett's nails match Coke Zero too. I love them.
They do. Sponsored.
Oh, sponsored.
Thank you. Appreciate it. My daughter and I went and got manicures.
And was it nice?
Actually, she got a pedicure. I got a manicure. They tried to sell me a pedicure, and I was like, nah, I'm good.
No,
Just this
thanks.
one. Jeez.
No, my money.
It was nice. Have you ever gotten a manicure?
No.
Oh, man. It's great. You don't have to get painted. Or
They can
anything
just like
that.
update
Dude, it's
your
crazy.
nails.
They take off all the dead skin, and then they like.
Mine are pretty clean.
Yeah, that's what you think.
And then they
get to it,
find,
and you're like, oh my God.
oh, how do they got so much?
It's pretty wild.
I've always wanted to get a massage. Still never done that.
Oh, yeah, dude. I got one, and it sucked.
Was that the one in Mexico?
Yeah. I've had some since, and they're nice, but
And they're good. Good.
that woman was just like an American gladiator,
She was just so
a
strong.
Mexican gladiator.
I could never go back. They watched them cams.
Yeah, I had to go back. Well, actually, I don't have to go back, but I just tend to go to the gas station.
I would only ever go back with a wig, glasses, and a hat.
Yeah,
They should have offered Brett a job. Hey, great minds think alike. I made that joke.
I made that joke.
Local man revolts against self-service.
Yeah, I changed the facts of the story. I actually took the cup and just went,
Self-serve thing.
yeah, I will be served.
Come out here.
So bad.
Oh no, you left the gas pump in.
I did.
Don't
You called
say
it.
it.
I
I
know.
hope not.
Yep. The worst. See, they knew.
So you go there multiple times, like you cross there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to, but the pickup spot is right across.
So
the
it's a
street.
great place
And
to
it's
stop.
it's in Irving. I like Irving.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't think Irving's like you.
And the other thing is, like, I'm usually like today when I went, I had already been working for like 9 hours. So, and it's so humid out. So
Yeah.
I'm thirsty. I drank a 64-ounce water already.
Jeez.
So I got to pop in there and grab something. But anyways, yeah, I went back.
Brett has balls on his balls.
I do. It's so awkward. Tries to destroy a gas station.
Destroys the technology and then drives away trying to blow it up.
You could get 2 still shots. One of me like this, where I'm trying to catch the drink, but it just looks like I'm pouring it.
Yeah.
And then one of me that looks like I'm manually disconnecting the pump.
He's destroying it.
So
Story ends when
bad.
Brett runs over the gas station clerk.
Yeah, she ran out to stop me, and I was just backing up. And she goes, "Hey, hey, hey!" And I run her over. So bad.
If it's in the local newspaper, they can frame it.
That's true.
Brett will be
Yeah.
remembered.
Forever.
Sorry, bro. Here's some clothes for the dono to cover the wounds.
Yeah.
I'll give you a lift to the hospital.
There you go. I don't know if they've been washed.
What a day.
It was brutal.
Like, that's when you call out for the rest of the day.
I know.
Or week.
For real, I'm starting vacation now.
Let's see. How nice of Brett to do this for the great podcast.
Every week,
Story.
I'm like, how can I make a
what
fool
can
of
I
myself?
do? What can I do to make it great on the podcast? I'm stressed, but it's giving. I mean, you destroyed a bridge and a gas station.
I did. GTA Keep Up Edition. It's just me doing my job,
You're just
running into stuff.
causing destruction.
I was about to say GTA.
Maybe they weren't so out of the way to keep tabs on you. Maybe they weren't so out of the way to keep tabs on you.
Oh, the people who like called the cops on me. And the next day I drove into the Pentagon.
Brett, I know. I can't wait to hear what happens next week.
Oh, brutal.
Playing GTA.
A mistake is the drink falling, not the pump and the bridge. Yeah, that's
License
true.
suspended.
For real. That's what I was waiting for.
They probably have their eyes on you now, the police.
Oh, yeah. Well, the cops were all cool. This one, and the manager at the gas station was cool too. I
Yep.
was just an idiot. I would have refused service to you at the gas station for life. It's funny, the woman, I was like, I feel like such an idiot. And she's like, people do this all the time. Don't even worry about it. I was like, okay, I still am, but
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I apologize. I feel sorry for him because I've been clumsy. Yeah, exactly. It happens all the time.
She's
We
like,
just
not
forget
like this, though. Thanks for clarifying that mine still trumps anyone else's experience.
Mel took it right back. She's like, not like this.
It did feel like a cursed day.
What we all want to know.
Take a picture to make sure you took the pump out. Oh, I didn't take a picture, actually.
Oh,
I did. Got a Coke Zero again today, and all was fine.
did you use the same pump?
I don't remember, actually. That's a good question.
Step by step.
Oh, you know what? I didn't get gas.
Oh, you didn't.
I was like, I'm going to cut
I'm
that out of the
good.
equation. I had half a tank. I was like, I'll make it back.
You'll make it.
Yeah.
Oh God. That's never gonna happen. Can you drive and do the rest of the job for me? Oh, yeah, this will be a topic on my Sunday's family lunch for sure.
Fantastic.
Brett, you're being talked about around the
I
world.
love that.
You went to DC, but they're wearing Marvel merch. Spicy. Damn.
Oh, that took me way too long. The worst part is everything I saw there, I was like, oh, so much comic stuff. It would be like, oh, what was it? It's like the DC House of Commerce or whatever. And I was like, what is that? That's like the central for, it's like DC Comics Treasury or like,
Is Superman there?
it's just like every time I saw DC whatever, I was like, oh, this is like their hub. Cool.
This is where it is.
12 hours in DC and only saw 2 museums. I'm actually surprised. I literally got off the train at 7 a.m. and boarded it. That's pretty impressive that you saw 2. It's crazy. They are so intense.
Yeah, I really hope to go there soon. I had the opportunity as a kid, or not as a kid, but in 8th grade, the 8th grade trip.
Oh, yeah.
Was it to DC or?
Yeah.
I didn't go.
I didn't either.
Oh,
I don't remember why.
I think it might have been too expensive or something. Or maybe I just wanted to stay home because the option was to like stay home for a week or go on vacation. I was like, I'll just
Yeah,
stay
I
home
think
and
I
play
remember that.
games.
Free vacation.
I wish you had free museums. That's incredible. America is so bloomin' huge.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's really
It is
big
pretty
here.
wild.
Most of the UK does have some free ones, or at least ones with some of the sections are.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think when I was in London, there was a couple of museums where I was like, pulled out my wallet. I'm like, I wonder how much a ticket is. And they're like, go in, sir. I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Oh, what?
I have money to give you.
Don't you want this?
He keeps his vacation a secret because he had to sign an NDA for that model drama. Yeah, Pixie thought that I had a model girlfriend, and it got exposed that I was dating her.
Oh,
So
dang.
that's why I had to hide.
Wow.
But now she's dead
I didn't know about any of that.
in the closet.
Wow.
Nerds who? We're getting caught up. I love the ones that serve like real breakfast, like grits and all.
Breakfast.
One of my favorite smells is stencil stuff from tattoos.
Interesting.
Stencil stuff for tattoos. That has a smell.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
never smelled it.
It's a substance.
Massages are the best. I gotta get one. Teach you caught you up. Good. Back. What did I miss? We're catching up. Brett never getting gas again.
Yep.
And we caught up.
We're caught up.
Thanks everybody for chatting. Whew. We're gonna get into our movie segment. And I'm sweaty.
Let's do it, huh?
Let's do it.
You already, bro?
Time to get an electric car.
It's not bad.
That's smart. Mel, you're full of
Smart.
good ideas. And if you
Also
and Pixie are
pricey.
sharing brains, then you're both smart.
brains.
Movies, ready? We're
Yeah.
gonna do rapid fire.
Okay.
Welcome to Rapid Fire Movies, where I'm just gonna hit you with a million things that I saw.
I'm afraid.
I saw
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
You saw it.
I saw it.
You
saw it. Holy banana balls on a sandwich cracker.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if bananas could be turned into balls. But
Totally. Yeah. You
you
could
just-
scoop them like an ice.
Oh, like an ice cream scoop.
Yeah.
Dude, this movie was so emotional.
Yeah, I know, right?
And not in the way that people would expect if someone tells you, like, hey,
yeah.
the last Guardians movie is going to be sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not sad in the way you think it's going
No,
to be
I know.
sad.
That's actually what I loved about it.
yeah.
Because I was like, I had a theory that what we all thought was going to make us cry, like it would be something different.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah, they changed your expectations here.
So you loved it, or what?
I loved it. Yeah. It felt like Marvel's classic return to form.
It did.
Like, you know, because I feel like, and, you know, I think we're all feeling it. The Marvel fatigue and just newer Marvel stuff has not been hitting as strong.
Yeah.
But it felt like grade A Marvel goodness.
Yeah, I definitely felt that. I was like, this is what I've missed lately. It was just all there. The action, the emotion, the writing I thought was great.
Yep.
Everybody's performance was incredible.
Yeah, firing off on all cylinders
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, the story was, it felt like I really enjoyed it. It felt like it was small and then it became really big,
Yeah.
which is fine. It didn't really matter to me, like if it needed to be saving the universe or just saving each other or something
Yeah.
like that. So I like the direction it ended up going. It was interesting. It went the way it did, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, the movie itself was just like, oh.
Yeah. Overall, I just thought it was a great experience.
Yeah, from beginning to end, it was. I'm sad I had to wait so long to see it, but it was worth the wait.
Totally. Yeah, it was I might have mentioned it before, but it was the first time I've seen Simi cry, my daughter, at a movie, like for emotional. Well, obviously. I guess
else
the
would you
first
cry?
first time I've seen her cry at a movie. Like she hadn't experienced something that like moved her to tears like that. And it was interesting to watch.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh my gosh. Like she was like wiping tears the whole time. I was like, yeah, it's like that.
It's heavy.
We all were.
Yeah.
We were all, I don't think Jazz cried, but
I got teary eyed.
yeah. Oh, I did for sure. Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
really like
It's worth all of it. All of it. Go buy it right now for 30 or 20 bucks or wherever you can get it,
Yeah.
because it's streaming on Disney Plus, I think, in August.
Okay.
But you can just buy it right now for like 20 bucks.
How do you feel like running that trilogy would be? Because I feel like
The big thing is you really, really need Infinity War and Endgame.
yeah.
Because it's a huge, because I thought about that watching the third one. I'm like, if you jumped from 2 right to 3,
It's madness.
so there's so many differences
Yeah.
and so many things that happens. And technically there's the holiday special now,
Yep.
which reveals kind of one big thing, which isn't like super huge in the movie, but it's just kind of a cool like extra thing. But yeah, it is funny because, and it feels so much like comics, because there are, like, if you're reading a comic series, sometimes you need to read like, you know, one issue,
Yeah.
and then they have the big overall story, but you need the different issues to get different
It's
parts.
very true.
So yeah, it's really fascinating
Yeah.
to think of it that way. Yeah, because I don't think you can just watch the trilogy as is
No.
if you were to watch it for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But watching Infinity War and Endgame by itself is weird too.
That's true.
Because you need, well, you don't need it, but it really makes the movie so much better having all the build up from everything else.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I know people who just like the Guardians, so if they only watch Guardians 1 and 2 and then jumped into 3,
You're missing a lot.
so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So what else?
That's a keeper, by the way.
Oh, keeper.
Hands down.
Dude, it's been 2 weeks. I forget.
It's okay.
Yeah, definite keeper.
I'm here to remember. I also watched Robocop for the first time.
Which one?
The original. Holy crap. That was
Can you believe that movie's real?
that was way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, dude, it's nuts.
I expected it to be kind of cheesy. But still, I mean, it's iconic for a reason.
Yeah.
So I went in with middle expectations.
Sure.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's the special effects are so good.
They're so good.
It's so bloody and gruesome
Yeah.
and like out of nowhere too. Like they could have just easily like shot a guy once, but like the first guy that gets killed in the movie, riddled with bullets, destroyed.
Yeah.
How
How about a particular office scene where madness ensues and they're just like, whoops, and then they just move on.
They just move on.
Like while the guy's getting cleaned up.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I watched it, I was like, what the hell is happening?
What do you mean? Like,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, yeah,
It's
I
just
absolutely
insane.
do.
Yeah, the whole movie is wild.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole movie is wild. Brett was just staring at me, so I didn't know where to go from there. But yeah, it's great. The writing's surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I do think it's kind of weird that RoboCop, his arc throughout the movie.
Yep.
Because he like, you know, there comes to a point where he has to choose if he wants to be human or robo, essentially. And not necessarily choose, but he's like coming to terms with being both. But there's like a huge portion of his character that he like learns about or realizes, or however you want to put it, and he doesn't revisit it at all in the movie. And I guess he doesn't really get time to go and do that thing. Try not to spoil it.
Yeah, I don't remember it enough.
Yeah, I can tell you later. But for those who've seen it, you know, there's an aspect of him that he could easily go and like search for that he doesn't.
Yeah.
But maybe there's just not enough time in between it all. But
Oh,
yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, there's just like, but maybe it's explored in sequels or whatever. But
Sure.
yeah, it's really great. It stands the test of time, I thought.
Did you feel like you had to put yourself back in the 80s to enjoy it, or is it just stand on its own?
I thought it was pretty good.
It was 80s, right?
Yeah, 87, I believe.
87.
Yeah.
Good year.
Good year.
Yeah.
Good year indeed. But yeah, it was really enjoyable. Yep, violent.
What made you watch that?
I was just kind of scrolling on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to watch it for a long time.
Sure.
I just never got around to it.
Yeah, Prime's got some good stuff.
The Prime, yeah, has some hidden gems in there. But yeah, totally go watch it. Now I want to watch the remake and see how it holds up, or like compare the two. But yeah, go watch it. RoboCop, Amazon Prime.
Keeper.
Classic. Classic.
Very violent. It's so violent.
Oh my god, it's blew my mind.
The 80s were wild.
What have you watched, Brett? You can talk about a movie.
Well, I mentioned just because I mentioned it earlier. Night of the Living Dead. I've been wanting to go back and watch. I've been listening to Eli Roth's History of Horror podcast. It hasn't been updated in a minute, but some of the interviews they have on there are really, really cool. Or discussions, I should say. They're interviews, but it's like they'll ask a question and then it's just talking forever. Like the first episode is Eli Roth, who, if anyone's unfamiliar, horror director who did Cabin Fever and the Hostel movies, and Green Inferno, I think was his like Cannibal Holocaust love letter. It's weird to call that movie a love letter. And it's him, Rob Zombie, and Greg Nicotero, who works on Walking Dead, but also has been doing effects for a million years. He did Evil Dead 2 and like all kinds of stuff. So it's those three just like chatting or whatever. And they basically just work their way through like the history of horror.
That's
and, like,
cool.
You know, do you remember the first time you saw The Shining? Do you remember the first time you saw The Thing? Like all that stuff. And they had this crazy conversation about Romero and how he kind of like set the rules for the zombie as we know it now. And I just realized like there's so many movies that I haven't seen from back in the day, and kind of like the dawn of certain genres.
Dawn of the Dead, if you will.
And that's one that it like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is one of my earliest like not earliest memories, because we saw a bunch of like horror classics as kids.
Yeah.
But it's one that I remember really fondly and vividly as a teenager seeing with my friends, and I still to this day really love that movie.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Never seen the original.
And me neither. So I was like, I really want to go back and watch those. And I couldn't find Dawn of the Dead, but Night of the Living Dead was on HBO Max.
Brett, it's just Max now.
Sorry, yeah, just
Come
Max.
on. You're
I
really
know.
offending me.
HBO Max is so like 2.5 weeks ago.
Come on.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this on.
Yep.
Watched it yesterday, and you do have to like put yourself back in that time a little bit, because what's funny is there are a couple of like deaths or effects that are super silly. Like you can tell someone's not really punching the other person or whatever.
Right.
But then there are a couple that are really brutal to watch. And part of it is like in concept, it's what's happening. But I was going to ask, like, do you feel like you have to consciously, if you watch something from that era or, you know, from decades ago, do you try to put yourself in that era? Like, okay, thinking about the time that this came out, what are those people experiencing versus like, what am I experiencing in 2023?
I think that definitely gives you a different perspective for the movies. And sometimes it'll help you appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll not help at all.
Right.
But most of the time I just watch it from a modern perspective, because I like to see if things hold up. I like to see, you know, what they were doing back then, and again with my modern perspective, I like to see what they were thinking to do for these special effects and stuff. So like Robocop really impressed me because it was 87 and the special effects, not to say special effects weren't good in 87, I just didn't expect what came out of it. And so I was really surprised, because if I were to put myself in an 80s mindset, I would think, okay, we have things like The Thing at this point, and we have like things that Alien, you know, that have really good special effects, practical effects too.
Right.
So I think if I put myself there, it might not be as good as the other ones. But it's still, I mean, it still holds up. It's still great. So all that to say, Night of the Living Dead, when I saw it, I put myself in a modern perspective. And I think that hurt more than anything, because I like the movie, but it certainly feels slow to me. I feel like it takes like
I can see that.
It's just like there's parts where I'm just like I feel like a zombie.
It didn't feel that slow to me. It's only an hour and a half. And
I might need to revisit it. It's been a while. I watched it in my teens.
It's like, and you do see some like character like archetypes that you're like, okay, I feel like I kind of know what's going to happen here. But I don't know, I was pleasantly surprised with how it keeps moving along. And there are a couple things, like the shots of the zombies are literally just like, you know, there are a lot of like still sort of like, I guess you could call them like expositional shots, where it's literally just like, now it's this many zombies. And actually there are a couple slow spots, but I liked the way they did it. And this is where I had to put myself back then a little bit, is the way that they conveyed what was happening in the world was them finding a TV and being like, oh my gosh, we can stay connected now. And there was a radio in the house, and they were listening intently to be like, what's going on all around the world. Like I said, some of the like violent scenes or like attack scenes are kind of silly in the way, like there's this one where this woman has like an hour and a half to run away, but she just stands there like, no. And it's like, Simi was watching at that point with me, and she was like, this is so annoying, why doesn't she just walk away? So like moments like that. But overall, I found some of what happens in the movie, I was like, wow, this must have been just mind-blowing back then, because it's violent and some stuff has like kids involved, and there's the ending is pretty shocking, and especially at a time where like to look back and be like, oh, something like this hadn't existed yet, at least in the way that it does. And I know, because I know around the same time, like Fulci put out Zombie, like there was some Italian horror that was kind of mirroring what was going on here, or vice versa. But that was like the, no pun intended, the dawn of what we know now as like the zombie movie. It's really insane to be like, this came out, what is that? We had 60 years later? No, not quite. 50 something.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
That was 68.
Yeah, and that's relatively recent in the like history of movies. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, granted, I mean, movies are still relatively recent in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, generally speaking.
But still, I would think zombies would be kind of early on, like, because horror is something that has been around forever. That's just like an aspect of humanity. Things we're afraid of.
Well, yeah, exactly. And like as we know it, that was sort of the beginning, because I think prior to that it was actually on that podcast they were talking about how it was like all voodoo and like mind control kind of stuff. This was the beginning of like the coming back from the dead and all that stuff. But I hear so much about the political and like sort of social commentary of the original Dawn of the Dead. And I know it does still take place in a mall and everything, so I really want to catch those as well. But anyways, yeah, that was one that I watched on a whim. And I watched that right after, Keeper. I would say
Keeper.
Definite Keeper. If you're a fan of the genre, even if you're just a fan of film, I think it's a really cool sort of moment in history to go back and watch that and be like, this was wildly shocking to people. A couple of scenes that I was like, wow, that was like a bold thing to do.
Yep.
And it's a good, it's a pretty driving story. There are a couple of those moments where it's like you're just watching a newscast. I think those moments did drag a little bit, but it was interesting to look at it and be like, okay, he like sort of break down like why they were showing so much of the newscast. And in that right, it's kind of cool if you think of it that way.
Yeah. I think it's one of those movies that I'll benefit from rewatching.
Yeah.
Because as I grow, I've realized I've liked some movies more as I get older.
Sure.
And even just like, you know, not even getting older, but just my movie's perspective changes and I appreciate things more. So
sure. And that's a good way to put it too. Like some older or like classic movies I'll watch and be like, all right, I'm glad I saw it. I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah.
I could rewatch that movie. I watched that right after another movie. The reason I was on the Max app.
The Max.
I don't think that's called Max. It's like Cinemax.
Yeah, it's not. It's a dumb name.
I watched Constantine, City of Demons.
And
oh my gosh.
oh my gosh,
I
indeed.
cannot believe how violent this movie is.
Yeah, how R-rated it was.
So R-rated. And you had put in the note, they definitely utilized the R rating in this. This is a DC animated movie, which historically have been great.
Yes.
All DC animation across the board I've been a fan of. I think everything I've ever seen I've been a big fan of.
Yeah, there's not many that I can think of that I was like, meh, by the end of it.
Yeah,
I think almost all of them I've seen have been pretty strong.
Yeah, every animated show I've seen, I can't think of anything I haven't been impressed with. So I think the only other R-rated one I've seen was The Killing Joke.
Yes.
Which I did like. I love Constantine.
Yep.
A couple things that are really cool about this. This was voiced by, what's his name? Matt Ryan. I think Matthew Ryan is his name. He played Constantine in the relatively short-lived Constantine live-action show.
Which is really cool that they brought him back.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the show?
All of it.
Oh, you did? I never did.
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, especially the first couple episodes, actually. It was, I don't know, it was kind of X-Files-y, you know?
Yeah.
Like, every episode kind of had a new, like, demon mystery, or like this person might be possessed, or like what's going on in this area of town, like that kind of stuff. And they were telling an overarching story, but I remember really enjoying it.
Yeah, the movies have really been diving deep into Constantine. He has 2 movies, or technically he has the one solo and then the 2 Justice League Dark movies.
Oh, he's in both of those.
Yeah, and he's very like front and center. Yeah.
That's cool. He's great. I really liked him as Constantine, and his voice is perfect for it too. The violence in this movie is not only like, so there's a portion, the whole overarching concept of the movie is an old friend comes to him because his daughter has been in a coma and he doesn't know why.
Right.
And it turns out there is a demon that is responsible for this, and there's some twists and turns. But Constantine has to go find this demon, and when he does, the demon is sort of like, he sort of produced his own little hell on earth. And the scene of him walking through this demon's like abode,
That was when I put the note in there that they really use the R rating.
I can't even believe it, dude. It looks like for anyone who knows what this means, it just looks like 30 different Cannibal Corpse album covers. Like, it's so brutal and like twisted, and there's like this demon band that's playing human bodies as instruments,
Which was genius, but disgusting.
just crazy. The bats.
The bats. Yeah.
What are they doing? It was crazy.
They're having a good time, Brad.
And yeah, just like it's so grotesque and brutal, that it was kind of like, if it was live action,
Oh,
this would be like an unattainable movie.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to get it.
unrated.
Oh yeah, it would have to be. That being said, the animation is incredible. The storytelling's great.
Yep.
Some really, really cool like action scenes, and it's funny.
Yeah, all the characters are really cool. Like,
yeah.
I like the nurse lady he
Yeah,
introduces.
she's great.
And the backstory, you get a kind of a backstory for Constantine. So I guess, and not that it really matters or anything, but I guess it was originally a 5-episode mini series.
Oh,
And I believe they release each episode weekly on like the CW website.
okay.
But then they just turned it into a movie, and it's all interconnected. But
That's cool.
yeah, it was interesting that they decided to do it that way.
The backstory, I'm pretty sure, is the backbone of the live action show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
because it felt really familiar to me, and I'm pretty sure that's why. I think that was only one season, the live action.
I think so too. I don't think it got any farther than that.
But then he does show up in like, because he was in the CW universe.
yeah,
Did they call that the CW verse?
the
Is your AC on?
it is.
All right.
But I feel like I'm hearing a noise.
I
guess
just
not.
realized I'm hearing your AC on the recording.
I meant to say something about it earlier, and again, I always forget.
It's all right. It's too late.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal.
high quality,
High quality.
high news. But yeah, so the backstory was, you think, part of the live action?
Yeah, that was like, there was, because Constantine's always this like, there's never like a full victory. He's always got this sort of looming thing over him, and people blame him for everything that's happening around him. I don't know what you call that kind of character, but it's
He
a certain
is-
type.
Yeah.
He's like almost an anti-hero, but not really.
Yeah, he's just like a punching bag almost.
Reluctant. He's a reluctant hero, maybe. Definitely a punching bag.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that you put it on the list, because
Yeah. High keeper.
yes, big keeper. I recommend all DC animation.
Yeah,
It's-
I've been kind of stepping my toes through them again, trying to get caught up. And they all hold up. They're all
Yeah.
just great.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with Matthew Ryan because I'm pretty sure that's his name. But he showed up in, I think, League of Legends, and he might have showed up in a couple other crossovers.
League of Legends, Legends of Tomorrow.
That's what I meant.
Gotcha.
Legends of Tomorrow. He did not have a cameo in the game League of Legends. But yeah, and maybe in the Flash or
Yeah, when they had their big crossover events,
He would show
He
up.
definitely showed up in Arrow. I'm pretty sure.
he did, yeah.
I think they had like a cool episode.
Yeah.
like that.
And this was also, I think, produced by David S. Goyer, who's like, he did the story for The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
And, I think he wrote, maybe directed Dark City, which I've still never seen. But I don't know. Anyways, wrote one of the Crow movies.
Gotcha.
He's done a lot of DC stuff, though. So yeah, I think those are the only two things I've watched recently. Do you have more? You said rapid fire. You said one
I know.
movie.
I got. I said a couple.
Maybe two, yeah.
Let's see. I watched 47 Meters Down, Uncaged.
Uncaged, yeah,
Yep.
I told you to watch that weeks ago.
Yes, weeks ago. I'm getting caught up. It was fine. It was fine.
So that movie
Uh-huh.
has the craziest finale I've seen in a while.
That is the highlight of the movie.
Yeah.
Is where it ends up.
And I would agree.
Leading up to it, it was okay. Pretty bad acting. I wasn't feeling like any of the girls.
I mean, it's all right. What do you want?
I want them to actually feel like real and not like they're reading a script.
Yeah, that's fair. They weren't great.
I will say the movie is impressive because it mostly takes place underwater.
Yes, I
And
thought
that's
that was really
cool.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen that too much. I mean, I bet there's a ton of movies out there where it's been done. Avatar was kind of like that, but
But was it really underwater?
that's the thing. This one feels underwater.
Yeah, it does.
Avatar, it could be fake water for all we know.
Right.
But yeah, so that was fun. But yeah, the acting was really tough to get by for me.
Yeah, it's rough, but I feel like once they start getting scared, it's just a lot of like screaming and swimming.
And underwater running
underwater running.
called swimming.
Right.
Yeah.
But I thought there were a lot of moments that were like super tense, and then when you think it's over, it's not over. The finale's insane.
Yeah.
Like I would say the movie, for me, the movie's a definite keeper. The acting is not great, but I think the fact that this director, whose name I forget, Johan
Jovovich.
They also wrote, it could be Johannes, I could be saying it incorrectly, but they also directed Resident Evil Raccoon City, which we were not huge fans of. But for this person to write and direct,
Johannes Roberts,
to have written and directed 2 shark movies that, in my opinion, were both pretty good, I think is a feat all its own.
Yeah.
There were I'd say a moment or two in this where the sharks felt particularly CGI.
Yeah.
But very cool underwater setting to start the movie.
Underwater.
Underwater. And a couple of shots in particular that really stuck with me. There's one where the girls are underwater and there's like this flashing red light and just more and more sharks keep showing up.
Yeah.
For anyone who hasn't picked it up, this movie's about sharks.
Sharks.
The first one, 47 meters down, is features Mandy Moore, and they go in an underwater shark cage, and it disconnects, and they drop to the bottom of the ocean, and the whole thing is just like an isolated tension
Survival.
Yeah, survival movie. And this one is a group of college students that decide one of the girls' father, actually 2 of the girls, is what is he?
Like an archaeologist, but like an underwater archaeologist, which I don't know if that's a separate thing.
Right, is it?
I don't know.
But he's working on a project, and they've sort of unearthed this underwater temple. The girls aren't supposed to go under there, but of course 4 of them do. And they encounter an ancient beast.
An ancient beast known as a shark.
It just progresses and gets crazier and crazier, and I think it's a really pretty thrilling movie from there on. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Early on, like the story and the acting's kind of whatever. They're just like building something there.
Yeah.
But I do think it feels like it comes into play later. And the finale, dude.
Yeah, I would say it's worth going through it all just for the finale because it's crazy.
Yeah. What about the underwater with like the current and all that?
Yeah,
stuff?
that was
I thought that was cool.
that was surprising.
Yeah. Tim loved this movie.
It's one of my favorites ever.
Keeper for you or no?
Yeah, like the lowest keeper we can give out. Only for the ending, really.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have more movies or no?
I could, but we're already an hour in.
I know. It's pretty wild. I said we were going to talk Jeepers Creepers. You know what? Let me say it just because I've never seen Jeepers Creepers, not all the way through.
Truly a travesty.
I know. I've seen bits and pieces, and I kind of knew what it was about, but I didn't actually know what all the details. A couple things I'll say about this movie because a lot of people, I'm sure, people who would see it have seen it.
Yep.
It's a classic in almost like the slasher realm at this point. Falls in with slasher / monsters, like I would say like Chucky and Jason and Freddy, which is kind of crazy because I think this was early 2000s when this came out.
2000. I'm gonna say 2.
I was gonna go 3 or 4.
Might be 2003.
I'll pick 4 just to be contrarian.
2001.
Damn it. I went the wrong direction. So very early 2000s.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. We're right out of the 90s. Features a very young Justin Long.
Justin Short is what he was at this time.
Tim's going to head out. I'll take the rest of the podcast solo. So, I guess if you are unfamiliar, it's Justin Long's character and his sister driving back home from I forget where. And
doesn't matter.
They have an altercation with this giant truck, and its driver, of course, it's not just the truck,
right?
And then they pass that driver at its home. It's doing some shady business, so they decide to go back and check it out, which could be arguably like the maybe lamest part of the movie. I mean, you need a catalyst for the story, but there are a couple moments where I'm like, all right, I mean, for sure, get in your car and head out. Yeah. But it's fine. And this movie is a really fun movie in this genre, in my opinion. Like, I had a blast watching it. The monster is pretty terrifying, and there are some moments that are way grosser than I anticipated.
Yep.
The other thing is the way I had seen still shots of this movie that made me think I knew what the finale was going to be like. I did not. It's over at I've said before, actually I said it earlier about 47 meters down and Caged. I've said before that there are, like, you think it's over and it's not.
Yeah.
In this one, I thought it wasn't over, and it was.
And you're like, oh,
Like, do you remember how they present the ending?
yeah,
It's crazy. I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I was even right about one of the things that happens.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it happened. And for it, my tongue just bounced on the word didn't in a way that it doesn't usually. It did not happen the way I thought it was gonna. And it's kind of like dreadful the way
Yeah.
that it happens.
yeah,
So yeah, all that to say that, like, if you haven't seen it, if you're like me and it's a movie you would watch and you've somehow not seen it all these years, it is a keeper. I think
Oh,
it
yeah.
holds up. There's, unfortunately, we've talked about it before because of the movie Clown House, I think it was. Same director.
Mm-hmm.
There's some controversy surrounding this director, which is unfortunate. That always taints the art just a little bit. But if you can look beyond that, not worry too much about that.
Mm-hmm.
There are obviously many other artists involved in the creation of this movie, so it's crazy. I get why it still comes up, and I see people talking about, like, they want NECA to release an ultimate of the creature.
that'd be sick.
Does the creature have a name?
I think it's just Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah,
The Creeper.
the creeper. The scene that they first show when they sort of reveal its lair is pretty wild.
Oh, dude.
It almost has, like, I don't know, it just has that gross feeling. It's not as gnarly as, like, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like Grit, or
Yeah.
like I don't know, like Devil's Rejects. Like, those movies feel like dirty and grimy. It's borderline that, though.
Yeah, it's like sticky.
Yeah.
It's just like a sticky,
Yeah.
like organic nastiness.
Right. And there's a scene with maybe it is that level, because then there's a scene with a decapitation that is so uncomfortable to watch, and it just gets worse and worse, and it kind of drives home the grossness of it.
Yeah.
But
It is such a treat, though. If you're a fan of horror, it's like, oh,
yeah.
it's great. It's really, I really like it a lot.
Do you know anything about? Did you watch the sequel?
I did.
Is that worth watching?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
sequel's worth watching, and then I guess they came out with like a third one, and then there's Reborn,
I heard Reborn was awful,
and I think 3 was also awful.
Yeah.
I didn't see 3.
but the first two are worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That one stays a keeper.
Keeper for sure.
That's it. No more movies.
No more movies. We're cutting it off.
Do you have another? Do you want to go into another category?
There's other things I could talk about.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to talk about something in music, right?
Yeah, it's podcast.
A podcast.
Oh, there's the music too.
the music. I listen to the music.
All right, let's go to podcast and music. Music
Okay.
and podcast. I mean, listening
So-
thing.
Yeah.
Let's go to sound.
Let's go to sounds. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Oh,
Let me get caught up here. Let's see. Also, Jones, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs, you drunk.
you drunk?
You drunk.
What are you sitting on?
Oh, a bunch of candies.
Oh, dude, this is delicious.
I've never had it.
Really.
Never.
That's so good.
We got it from an ice cream event.
Oh, you
Jones, you're not drunk, though. You're awesome. Thank you so much, man. Who to go to? Pixie, Blast? Yo, look at all these people.
Dude, can I have some Tic Tacs?
Yes. You are the whole package, Pixie. It's true.
The whole Taj.
I'm the brains and Mel's the beauty, says Pixie. Time to get an electric car. Okay, that's what we... Jones, how are you? Welcome back. Tim disables alerts for podcasts, but will be shocked when it... That's my shocked face.
I've seen it.
No worries. I just wonder how long it'll take him to notice. It's a game now. Dude, it'll be a year. It'll be... here we are. We're at a year. I'm curious. I can't keep up. Get it?
Wait, I don't get it. Oh, yeah!
That's pretty much true for the MCU, to be honest. You have to have seen the whole thing to understand. Yeah, there are definitely some standalone ones, but for the most part, they you need everything. How's everyone doing? Doing good? Look at everyone doing good. That's the year I was born. 87. The year of truth.
Same dudes.
What's Naruto doing?
See, all the good stuff came out that year.
Yo, that Naruto emote's sick. How are you? I'm doing good, doing good. Max, less than HBO Max.
Yeah,
I know math.
it's whack.
Yeah, it's just weird. Just make it HBO. Just make it HBO Max.
Yeah, right.
The GUI of Max. I like big Tims, and I cannot lie. You other viewers cannot lie. When a Tim comes out in a ranch, you get subbed.
You get sub.
Yeah, that was great. Jones, write that down forever.
It is written.
We need to petition them to bring back the original HBO Max, right? They don't need it.
Dude, these are good.
Yeah, those are like the crazy flavored ones.
Fruit Adventure?
Yeah. Oh, one I actually saw. I was shooketh by Constantine, but I liked it.
It was great.
Yeah, check it out. Oh yeah, sounds like the workings of my inner mind. Whenever I hear them say a movie that I've heard but not seen, it's usually followed up by "it's so gory," and I go, "Oh, that's probably why I haven't seen it." We do watch a lot of gory stuff.
Yeah.
That's my life. Especially when they speak of horror movies and say how wild it was. I hardly watch movies, especially horror, so I live through them.
Yay.
It's good. That's I'm glad. But I recommend watching all the horror movies. Can't do horror movies. I don't know why. I do like some horror video games.
They're very different experiences.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I would find horror video games to be more intense than movies.
Yeah, they're so immersive.
Yeah, because you got to move and play. Do you like having more control in the horror?
That might make sense.
Yeah, like for example, games like Until Dawn and Man of Madonna are my main favorites. I like the choices matter and quick time events. That's fun, and that's really good for horror.
Yeah,
It really does add to it, the intensity of it.
those are great.
Yep, I'll be doing another one of those games on my channel in the next month. So when I get my new computer, heck yeah!
Nice.
It's going to take up me so long to get my OBS. Hey, you'll get it, dude. I'll be the Chucky to Tim's Jason. I mean, what? Who's the Chucky to Jason?
What do they do?
They stab each other, I guess.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Are we caught up?
Yeah, we're caught up.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Susie was ready.
All right, let's do it.
As usual, you're all beautiful people. Thank you for sticking around.
You're
and
the
listening.
greatest. You're a mean one,
Mr. Grunch.
Mr. Grunch.
Mr. Grunch.
All right. Tim, we're in music. I almost forgot I told you to listen to this because it was so long ago. But
Yeah, I listened for you, Brett. Not only for you, but for Sonic music.
wow,
Yeah, can't forget it.
dude, your AC is so loud.
Dude, shut it off. It's
Not now.
why?
It'll be inconsistent with the rest of the podcast.
Wow.
Plus, it's keeping our listeners cool.
Oh, if you can hear the AC, you can be the AC.
That's true.
Dude, hand me one of those seaweeds. I'll try it right now.
Dude, try seaweed. If you hate it, I'll eat it.
Yep.
So, a couple weeks ago, a few weeks back, whatever, who knows, Spotify recommended me an album by an artist called Dance with the Dead. What, me?
Yeah. Eat one.
I've had it before.
I know, but
We're eating some dry seaweed.
dry seaweed. Where's the front? There it is.
Oh, so good.
It's just like,
So you gotta put it on your tongue and get the whole thing in your mouth.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's gonna be all crumbly. It's so good, dude.
oh, it is pretty good actually.
You like it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. That's way better than I thought it was going to be. It's just like a thin paper
Yeah.
of
It's
death.
so thin. They make wasabi ones.
I'm not great at eating it.
No, you'll get it. You'll get it.
Wasabi?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bang, dude. They're so
that sounds painful.
good.
It's
So-
called nori. Thank you, Susie.
So I listened to this artist called Dance with the Dead, and man, did I love it.
It's with the dead.
And I was like, I think Tim is gonna super dig this, because while I was listening to it, I was like trying to figure out like what is this reminding me of? Why do I like it so much? And it's basically like, well, Tim, did you listen to it?
Uh-huh.
Did you listen to the album, or did you just listen to a couple random tracks?
The whole album.
Driven to Madness, this
Yeah.
one here. So the album cover got me because it looks very like Tales from the Crypt.
Yep.
It is a it's a car situation where it looks like is it supposed to be a taxi driver? Is that like the fair? I don't know. But it's a skeletal gentleman,
Yep.
which is also my new rap name.
Skeletal gentleman.
Driving a car and looking in the back seat, and in the rear view mirror is a scared young lady. And it looks great. The art's super cool. And Tim, listen to it. What'd you think?
I thought it was good. The thing with it is it's modern, right? They made it like last year.
This record came out last year.
It sounds pulled from the 80s.
Right.
Like pulled out of like whatever 80s synth movie or game you're playing.
Yeah.
it didn't feel very horror to me.
Yeah.
It felt more like not poppy, but just like something you see at the end of a sci-fi movie, where like you're zooming out at a horrific reveal,
Sure.
and you would hear something like that as the credits roll. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't like love it. Like I don't think I'll sit and listen to them.
Yeah.
But it was cool. It was very, very much sounded like the time that they were inspired by.
Yeah, for sure. And you can tell like everything that they've put out definitely has that 80s inspiration. It's very, some songs are very guitar driven. Some are more synthy and sort of atmospheric. From what I can gather, it's two gents. And it's all instrumental, except they do have a couple, maybe all the, no, I think all the features are actually other instrumentalists. But like the first track on this album has John Carpenter featured, and like you can tell they're entirely 80s inspired. But it sounds like soundtracks. Some sound like soundtracks to video games to me, like a Streets of Rage kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But then some of them sound like I can picture what's happening in the movie while it's playing. Like it's like I said, more guitar driven, but also really heavy synths, and it just sounds like someone driving and switching lanes really quickly, and like you're trying to get to your destination. So I've actually really enjoyed listening to it when I'm driving, if I'm if I'm working.
I couldn't really place when I would want to listen.
Sure. Yeah. I because I like have a lot of time by myself during the week, and am either working or whatever, like I have tasks to get done.
Yeah.
It's a very driving sound.
And especially because you don't need like it's just good background music. Like you don't need to focus on the lyrics or anything like that. It's just music.
Yeah. It's really cool to listen to as well, because I feel like if you are sort of a visual person and your imagination takes you places while you're listening to music, that's what made this record so fun for me, I think. So I'd recommend it if you're a fan of the 80s, if you're a big film fanatic, stuff from that era, because it definitely captures that vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. And you're right, it captures it for sure.
And their album art's always dope. Their earliest record was 2013, so they've been doing it for a minute. Really good stuff. The other thing I wanted to bring up, because I think some people might be into it, I've brought up many times one of my favorite podcasts, Spooked, which is first person, like ghost stories, supernatural stories that the people who experienced it tell the stories of on these podcasts. Huge fan. I've listened to all of them, some of them multiple times. I stumbled across a thread about spooky podcasts, and someone mentioned Radio Rental, and I had never heard of it, but I jotted it down. I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I found it it is part of its own subscription. It's I think it's Tenderfoot. Tenderfoot is the podcast provider, streamer, company, production company, podcast production company, and there's Tenderfoot Plus. So I subscribe temporarily to get everything, but they do have a ton of stuff that you can get, a ton of episodes that you can get anywhere, just streaming. So it's very, very cool, because it's like Spooked in the way that it's first person stories, but it's not supernatural stuff. Some of it leans in that direction, but it's more like true crime stories, like people who came face to face with well-known serial killers and survived and didn't know until later who they were. One man who gets abducted, and someone thinks that he's super drunk, and so they're wearing a wig, and they switch the wig with someone else, and then the other person comes out and pretends to be the last person. So this guy realizes he's in a really bad situation, but he doesn't know what's going on. Stuff like that. That's like really creepy. There's an Airbnb story about this couple who stay with this guy, and the guy is extremely odd and strange behaviors, has a door in the house that he tells them do not go in there for any reason at all.
God.
Ever. So it's all these stories, and it's so good. And the structure of, because I know one of the things you really liked was Glenn Washington, who hosts Spooked. He would tell a story, and he has this like really, really performative way of hosting the podcast. This podcast is actually hosted by Rainn Wilson.
Oh, okay.
And he plays a character named Terry Carnation, and he is the owner of this this video rental store. So the beginning of every episode is sort of him playing this character and choosing a story from his VHS collection.
That's cool.
And you hear it go into the VCR, and he like prefaces it, and it's comedic. He's basically like a crypt
Keeper, yeah.
And it's very, very fun. I think I want to say there's like 46 episodes.
Wow.
I got through them in like a week and a half.
You listened to all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Dang.
And then when you subscribe, there's a bunch of exclusive stories. The show itself, I think, typically runs like 25 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
And the exclusive stories are single stories. They're anywhere from like 8 to 15 minutes. But if you're into like true crime, I would say this is a definite keeper. You have to check it out because it's so interesting and kind of terrifying, because a lot of them have to do with just real people.
Yeah.
And real experiences.
Where Spooked is like also real, but
It's real experiences, but it leans towards the paranormal, where this leans towards the true crime. And a lot of them have like a resolution where it's like, this happened to me. I had no idea who this person was. And then a week later, I saw this on the news, and I'm like, that's the guy. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that where it's almost like unsolved mysteries, but it's solved mysteries.
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of thing.
that's cool.
There are some that don't have a resolution, and I love Spooked so much. But while I was listening to Radio Rental, I was like, oh, this is like a different version of that. Like, it's within the same genre, but it has a little bit different leanings. So highly recommend Radio Rental, and there are a couple other Tenderfoot podcasts that I've started to delve into, and they're more what's his name? The dude who produces the podcast. His first name's Payne. I can't remember his last name. But he's a journalist, and he has one on UFOs, and it's very, very well produced and well put together. So it's really cool if you're into that kind of thing, and worth checking out, especially because it's you can get a majority of it free. And I'm gonna resubscribe if they do like another season. I think they're on hiatus for the rest of the year, but their last one came out like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's Boss. Check it out. You should follow them on Instagram too. They've done a couple of contests where you get like a real VHS and a figure of Dwight. You get a figure of Rainn Wilson's character and stuff like that. It's pretty great.
That's awesome.
Radio Rental.
Do they have a video version of it?
They do not.
Okay.
It's only audio. Yeah. They do have a couple of accompanying like photos and videos from the people who told the stories that they'll share on their Instagram, which is pretty rad.
Gotcha.
There's one in particular, I forget what the title of it was, but this woman saw this creature in a photo that they looked back at, and they shared the photo on Radio Rental's page, and it was pretty cool to look at that, because while you're listening to it, they're like, we're going to give you a minute here and interrupt the story because we really think you need the visual to kind of like drive the story home. So then you go look at it on Instagram, and it's pretty fun. It's good stuff.
That's very interactive.
Yeah, it's very interactive. I'm sweating, dude.
Yeah, Brody opened the door.
I'm glad you have the AC. There's so much other stuff to talk about, but we're gonna have to build other episodes out of it.
We're gonna have to do like 4 in one sitting.
Well, I'm glad you showed up here today, Tim.
Thank you. Took a long time. Long journey.
Long journey. Long. Remember that song?
Bam bam beedum. Bam bam.
What was I saying? La 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 tomba. Listen, thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been episode number 251. You guys rule. Go follow us on all the socials. That's for you, Tim. I can't, dude. I can't. All right.
Nice. Very crunchy.
Eat yourself some seaweed.
That was very good.
It's very good for you. Again, you can find us on all the socials at the Keep Up Podcast, patreon.com/keepup. Shout out to all of our patrons. You guys are the coolest.
The best in the world,
The
maybe.
best in the world, and everyone listening, you are also the greatest.
Also,
Tim.
the greatest.
Tell all the people where they can find your other work.
Also, everyone in chat, please start throwing end babble words our way.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Tim's gonna talk nonsense in a minute.
Yeah, gonna talk nonsense. So throw some end babble our way. Where can people find me? You guys can find me at Collection Revolution on Instagram, on where else can they find me? Twitch. What other platforms are there? TikTok, and now Threads.
Oh, you're on Threads.
I'm on Threads. Dude, I'm number 7 million.
Dang, Brody.
I don't think that's good. So yeah, you can find me on all the places that you can be social. And Twitter, I'm at Collect Revo.
Collect Revo.
Collect Revo.
So close.
Brett, where can everybody find you?
Easiest thing to do is go to my Instagram, which is at this drink I like it. And I got a link tree there in my bio. It'll get you to my music if you're into rap stuff, my band if you're into hardcore stuff, and my streaming if you're into scary stuff. And what else? I don't know. There's other stuff in there. I have my other podcast, which I haven't uploaded in like 5 months. But
Do you have another episode?
I not recorded, but I have some kind of outlined, and I have a few other people that we're going to guest. So I could probably do another. I should have just called that like season 1, so I could cut it at episode 5 and not feel bad about it. But yeah, you can find all my other stuff there. And if you want to just follow me on Instagram, you can do that too. That is that. Love you guys. This end babble for Tim is going to be themed.
You guys are all great. I love you too.
Gas station seaweed. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Squeak. The Chevy Silverado rolls up to the Hess gas station. And it's not winter, so we're not the Hess truck is not here to be delivered upon the children. The gifts shall not be received, and only the driver of the Chevy Silverado is there at the Hess station. There's not even any workers. It's all self-serve. And so he walks inside. He walks inside very hungry. Some would say even thirsty for something unlike any other. And he sees rolling in the hot dog rollers, steaming piles of seaweed. Nice and warm, nice and gooey, because once you get them wet, they're gooey. And so he reaches in, grabs a dirty handful of this seaweed, just slopping in his hands like a sloppy Joe, handfuls of the ooey gooey green, and shoves it in his mouth. And as he leaves the gas station, because this is a free gas station, if you go to Hess, they give you seaweed for free. He looks at the cashier and says, "Smell you later," and farts on the way out. And so I'll leave you with this. If you go to a gas station and they offer free seaweed, don't take it. Pay for your food, you fools. Pay for your food, because otherwise you get what you pay for, and that's nothing. Thank you. Oh, what an exit. Dude, the seaweed was great. Is it good for you? What do I get? Right? Dude, all it gives me is 2% iron and 2% potassium.
Is that good? I need to start posting like when we upload new episodes. So I'm thinking maybe we just
do pictures. Is it blurry?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
It'll be blurry. Take your glasses off. Are you blurry again?
I don't know.
My left hand's shaky. No, that's gold.
That's gold. Okay. Cool. Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys, we're back.
Kind of sounds like seaweed salad, and that slaps. Slaps! Yo!
Oh, seaweed salad is so good.
That sounds gross, but I also thought this wasn't going to be good.
Do you like sushi?
Sushi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love sushi.
Well, you get seaweed salad at a lot of sushi bars.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say mm-hmm.
Brett, when are we going to go to a rotating sushi place again?
We gotta go back to L.A.
You're telling me there's not one around here?
No, there probably is, right?
We got to find one.
Bum, bum, dee-dum.
Bum,
Dude,
bum,
I
bum.
probably smell terrible. I'm sorry.
I can't smell anything. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love crispy seaweed. Gimme.
It's your boy Crispy Weedum.
It's called nori.
Oh, nori. I forgot about that.
I want to love them so bad, but I just can't with seaweed. What is it about it, Mel? Honestly, it's like not much. It's salty and crispy
and tasty.
But is it the roasted seaweed, or is it like death seaweed. I love pretty much all seafood. I'm with you, Susie. Seafood is like my favorite ever.
So weird.
I know it is weird. Dude, I was dreaming. I didn't tell the Long John Silver story.
What story?
It wasn't really anything, but like mom and I went out to the Christmas tree shop because it's going out of business.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, and so I wanted to spit on it because I hate that place.
Yeah.
But we wanted to go to Long John Silver's because it was in the area, which I won't say. But we went there and they apparently shut down, not the whole place. They shut down like serving. They don't serve at 8 o'clock. And we were there at 7:56. And they said, no fish for you. And my heart was broken.
Dude, did you go to Taco Bell?
No, we left.
Left?
We went to, where'd we go? Some place that was good.
You gotta get something after that disappointment.
Yeah, it broke my heart. I wanted it so bad.
That's such a bummer, dude.
It was the worst in the world. Never heard of a place closing at 8.
No, that's gross.
That's gross.
Like, I've been trying so hard to get Taco Bell breakfast because I had it years ago. And
Was the last time you had it when we went to PAX?
did we get Taco Bell breakfast?
We did, yeah.
Probably.
When we went to PAX, we got it one morning.
Yeah,
And they had like,
probably was.
yeah.
So I found one the other day and I went and I got way too much. And I was like, I'm never getting it again.
Was it good though?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, I haven't had that, I think, since PAX. That was the last time.
You remember liking it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I just got like a breakfast something. Seaweed Horror Gas Station. I'm waiting for the next installment, Brett, says Susie, for the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I gotta put that out.
It gives you iodine, the fishy flavor. All seaweed. Tim, I'm so intrigued by Long John Silver's. When I come to the US, we gotta go. Yeah.
You're gonna be wildly disappointed.
It is truly the trash of the bottom of the trash barrel.
It is like, it's good.
It's
Like,
good.
If you're in the mood for what Long John Silver's is, Long John Silver's is the most that than any at the restaurant.
It truly is garbage. I love to admit that it's garbage because it's so good.
It is pretty good,
Yeah, it's just like super salty.
but it is also garbage.
Yeah. So don't have your hopes high, but also have them super high.
Just make sure when you get it, you get fish and chicken so you can see that they taste exactly the same.
Right. That's the thing. You're getting the same flavor no matter what, and it's all delicious.
They all taste like fries.
That's really it. And they have hush puppies, which is just fried corn balls, like corn
You're a
muffins.
fried corn ball.
Thanks. Squashies. Brett loves squashies. Nice. He's eating all my squashies that I got hand delivered.
Squashy.
Squashing for me and you. What? Well, that's the end of the podcast, guys.
Love you guys.
Take the trash. Thanks, pal. I'll see you up there for schnitzel. Was mom cooking it? Did you see her?
Get it started.
Oh, schnitzel. Mom's making schnitzel tonight. Oh my God. Brett's breaking things out there. I got you both on the goods. I know, you got us addicted to the squashies.
Squashy!
And Brett, this will be the only time he can eat it unless he gets it special ordered. Or you send it to him.
They'll be here.
True. But yes, that is the end of the podcast. Thank you everyone for being here. Always love to see all your beautiful faces. Although I don't see your faces, but I imagine them. I close my eyes and I'm like, that's what they look like. Excuse me. So I will be back tomorrow. We're going to be playing Bramble, which if you haven't heard of it, it's a horror game. It's a scary game. It's very dark and spooky, but it's Little Nightmares Limbo-esque. So it's a like side scroller. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. So yes, it is horror. It's got a lot of dark themes and stuff, but we're starting that a little early because I want to finish it in one stream. I hear it's short. I hear it's like 3.5 hours at most. But you know, you gotta factor in stream and everything. So we're gonna get started early. We're gonna start at 3 p.m. Eastern, and just play that until we beat it. So yeah, be prepared for that spooky stream. So if you like that stuff, come by. I don't think it's like jump scary. Again, it's like Little Nightmares. You know how that has like some darkness to it. It's like that, but I hear it's more intense, more violent stuff like that. So just be aware, fair warning. But other than that, that's it. And then we got dinosaurs on Friday. We're gonna be playing with friend Nick and maybe my friend Brandon. We're gonna be shooting some dinosaurs together for a Capcom stream, all the good stuff. So thank you, Mel, for being here. Susie, I know Pixie was hiding in the shadows. We got Jones. Yes, Jones, and I will get to you. I will message you right after this. What a great it's a great week, and you guys all make it all the better by being here and being awesome. It's your day off, Mel. Heck yeah. I hope you enjoy it. Or you watch it and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go play this myself, because it seems like it's gonna be great. So I appreciate that. 9 p.m. Perfect. So you guys are amazing. We're gonna do this thing called a raid, and I'm gonna go eat some schnitzel because I'm hungry. Yeah, no horror games for me. What do you mean? We gotta play Outlast Trials. So yes, horror games, because I've been itching to get back into that. Let's see, who's on? Willow's still on? Please, Willow, no. Well, how many hours does she have? She has 10 hours left. This poor girl. Well, we won't rate her again, but goodness gracious. Willow's been going for 70 plus hours. Incredible. Incredible. You know who we're going to rate into? Somber Gamer, because he's playing Crash Bandicoot. He has Crash Marathon in his title, so he might be playing all the Crash games. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, she's been streaming for 70 plus hours. She sleeps and everything. But she just keeps getting subs and stuff. Amazing. Good for her, seriously. She better take like a month off after that. Yeah, that's her. She's doing her 2-year anniversary subathon, so you know, that is the price you pay for saying uncapped. Exactly. I might be in the same boat. I could very well be in doom. So we're gonna pray that we I don't know what we're gonna pray for. Do we want it? Lost in Time. I would go into a side room and fart for an hour. I know. I'll take long poop breaks. That's for sure. I could go 24 hours without pooping if I had to, but other than that, it'll be the end. Fart for an hour? Who am I rating? The somber. There he is. The completionist is on too. So yes, he's playing Crash Budokan. It looks like the original. He's not playing the reignited. Not reignited. What the hell is it called? You know, this fancy one. Nah, still keep yourself as comfy as you can. Oh, for sure. Poop stream. No poop stream. No poop stream. I said a lot of words today, so bear with me as I can't speak. But again, congratulations, Mel, to you for getting the job. Susie, all the hope, all the prayer, the belief that you'll get funded, you'll get accepted, and they'll do some research. And next time I need to ask you about what it's about, if you feel like talking about it, or you can keep it a secret. That's fair too. You can tell us when you actually, when it's in progress, because maybe there are scientists who are going to steal it here. So maybe you want to keep it a secret. But seriously, good luck. All the luck we wish for you, because you deserve it. You're great. And again, everybody else who's been here today, thanks for the subs, the bits, the raids, the special baby. Mel, thanks for being the special baby. But today your feet are gonna fly you to Japan. But it's already been revoked. So close your eyes and you're in Japan. Thank you for the stream, Samantha. Of course. Hell yeah. Enjoy the mind of Japan. Japan's mind. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, you're all amazing. So until next time, eggs. My ears. And then we end stream here. Goodbye.